Okay, so this was requested by Jared Thorban. I don't know if he's here. Thanks for your donation. You're going to chase everyone away from the stream. Wait till you get a load of this. This is a great example of what reference material was like before the internet. There's a very small window of time where everyone started putting encyclopedias and stuff like that on CD-ROM. I distinctly remember when I was in high school was when this was happening mostly, and like our high school library, our encyclopedias were transitioning over to CD-ROM, and they were the ones that were in the caddies, so they weren't actually just the discs, they were the discs with that plastic, like almost a cartridge around it, and that's what the CD-ROM drive was. So like you could look up anything like you normally could in a in a book encyclopedia, but then it would always have like little audio clips and video clips and a lot of pictures and things like that. So anyway, that's what this is. This is it's called this is called the Animals San Diego Zoo. I don't know what the interface is, so we're gonna give this a shot and see what happens. Okay, we're going inside the zoo.
Barbara, how are you? Oh, you're so wide awake. Morning, Gordy. Well, I see you're second.
It's hours before the first visitors arrive.
Are you hungry this morning?
A time for morning greetings and the day's first meal.
See an animal that sleeps up to 20 hours a day, and it's kind of difficult to recognize that an animal that sleeps that much can actually have a personality, but they really do. They're very unique animals too, and so they're really fascinating. They're actually marsupials rather than bears. A lot of times people call them bears. That probably originated because they look sort of like teddy bears.
Inside the zoo, a full text file. Look at that, founding in 1916. You imagine? But this is also like just like edutainment. I mean, this is a way for Sega and other CD-ROM device manufacturers to sell the systems. Was like, hey, look, it's not just video games. It's also educational. Here's a very low-res, low-color screenshot of some Caribbean flamingos. Alright, how do we get out of here? Oh, look, I can walk around here. Like, woo! So go back. Jump to exhibit. Mm-hmm. Oh, look, searching and reference. Huh. So you can just go to the movies. Oh, it's building the database or something. Loading the database, I should say. See, this is how you would do research back before Wikipedia. Actually, I'm old enough that I was doing it in books, but it's funny, they don't show you where any of the hotspots are. You kind of have to guess. Seems like bad design. Okay. How would you ever find all this stuff? Let's go to tours. What about robots in disguise? I don't even know why I have this. Let's go to movies. Let's see what all the movies look like. Oh, drop my controller. That logo looks like a face. Always takes me a while to realize it's a tree and two elephants and I guess a snake and a bird. Those don't look like warthogs. Wow, these are just like tiny clips.
The white animals with the long straight horns are the Arabian oryx, and they were once almost completely extinct in the wild after World War II. The few animals that were remaining were captured. Since then, we've had over 150 births of the Arabian oryx, and as a result, we've been able to help reintroduce this animal back into its native homeland, places like Jordan and Oman.
It's a very gratifying experience for everybody to be involved in that project because there are so few species that are in peril today that will be able to be released back into the wild. Not because no one is breeding that particular animal, because there's no wild to be returned back into.
The urgency of the park's mission is amplified by scientific estimates that at least one species of plant or animal vanishes from the wild every day.
Hey, Drew. You're watching the San Diego Zoo Animals disc for the Sega CD. Bear Talk.
New arrivals are a major event at the zoo for the animals and people.
This is the first day for these Chinese bears to be on exhibit. Now, as you can see, they're very anxious to make their debut here at the San Diego Zoo. They've been in quarantine for the past month. So you kids get out there and knock them dead, okay? It's taken about 4 years to get these bears here. Anytime you have a cub or new bears going on exhibit, it is very exciting.
Whether they're new arrivals from afar or long-standing favorites, all bears are expert crowd pleasers.
Those bears were playful. Rhino Romp. They didn't seem like they were romping at all. Cheetah breeding? This doesn't seem for general audiences.
Cheetahs are very sensitive animals. They're difficult to breed in captivity. We have approximately 12 acres here set aside for the cheetahs. The reason that the breeding program is important to the cheetah population is cheetahs are an endangered species. They're very difficult to breed in captivity, and it's important to just keep the species going.
The cheetah is the world's fastest runner, able to reach speeds as high as 70 miles an hour. But ironically, it's almost been overtaken.
When it comes to breeding, my wife says I'm the world's fastest runner.
Poachers after its beautiful coat and significant loss of its habitat to human civilization.
We've had one of the better success rates in the country. In captivity, as we're learning more about these animals, I think we'll be able to do a better job of reproducing them.
There's an awful lot of video on this disc, I have to say. Alright. I'm not doing a full hour of this, obviously. I've got an hour and 10 minutes left to make up here. Let's look at the Sumatran tiger. Yeah, so retail product. It's not very common, I don't think. I believe the 3DO and the CDI had stuff like this too. Just, I was saying earlier that it's kind of the cusp of the multimedia era, and it was before all this stuff would have been online and, like YouTube and Wikipedia and all that sort of thing. So, like, all the different companies were scrambling to get encyclopedias and reference material onto CD-ROM. This is kind of at the tail end of that, and of course, the idea was to make the purchase of one of these devices more attractive to parents, I think. And the Sega CD was no exception. Yeah, in a much higher quality. Alright, so I have another game to put in here. I don't need to stop the stream. Just give me one sec. I don't think I need to anyway. We're going to find out. Well, maybe we do. Hopefully this doesn't kill the stream. So this was and yeah, you're gonna love this. This is another bizarre game. Bizarre multimedia game.